What is going on, guys? Welcome to the All Elite Heat podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Venomous Vincent, alongside as the sheriff. Katie is on assignment tonight. She was at Blood and Guts. I have some clips, some videos to show you guys from all the action. But very simple show tonight. You know, I got to tell you, I actually like this format. I wish they would do that. I wish they would do not so many matches, not so many promos, and just like 3 to 4 big matches. Like that would make a great Dynamite.
Every single, like 3 to 4 big match. That's a good way to put it. Every single match on this show was high stakes because they all were for the top storylines in the company. And then, you know, we had like a vignette in between. And then we had, you know, people in the ring in between, that kind of thing. But this was a very match heavy show. And the two out of those 3 matches were, I think, an hour apiece. So this was a very like match heavy show. Even though there was only 3 matches, this was a very wrestling heavy show.
Yeah, but you're right. But I just like that we didn't see Renee Paquette 19,000 times. We didn't see 90 different.
She's remarkable.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is, you know, I like simplicity. I like how it was just to the point, you know, and then you had this vignette in the middle with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and the FTR. Now, let me give you a little history trivia. Do you know what match was like the top of all matches in the Greensboro Coliseum?
I'm assuming it had to do with Ricky Steamboat.
It was Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Ric Flair, 1988.
Is that why they? I assume that's why they had him.
Yeah. Here's the crazy part. I could have sworn, that they were, going to have.
Oh, Katie says they were both there. Wait.
That's what I was going to say was I could have sworn Ric Flair was going to be on the show.
No chance.
Huh?
No chance.
Why do you say no chance?
Oh, for 2 reasons. I think he had I thought he had some kind of deal with WWE. And then number 2, there would be backlash to him being on the show, just like there was backlash to them partnering with the Woo Energy thing. So I think that they saved everybody the headache and just kept him off the show.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Ric Flair does not have a deal with WWE.
I thought he did. Oh, guess not.
That went to shit when he moved over to AEW and started doing promos and stuff. But let's get into the first match because I have some clips, I have some video. The first match, I think the best match of all of it was the first match. Again, I think the women killed it, like they always do.
Do you like this one better than the men's one?
Oh, for sure. Listen. I'm not gonna say the men's wasn't good, but the women, they really bled and they really took it to each other. I mean, there were some cool high spots in the men's match, but these women, I mean, you know what it is? It's crazy. Back in the 90s, the 80s and 90s, the men really brought out the talent, you know, and then it's like, you know, we fast forward to like, you know, now where we have like men's and women's Royal Rumble and the women always kill it. Like, I don't know I don't know if they want to make the men look stupid, but they always kill it.
It's because every single time they have something to prove, literally every single time. I was here for the transition in, I guess you could say, the culture around women's wrestling. And it was not a smooth transition. It was very much pulling teeth when, you know, the Give Divas a Chance era kind of happened in NXT. The 4 Horsewomen were kind of doing their thing. A large subsection of the wrestling audience was very resistant to that. Nobody wants to see women wrestle for more than 2 minutes. Nobody wants to see women bleeding. Nobody wants to see a women's Royal Rumble match. Women can't wrestle. How are they going to do an elimination chamber? It was a very painful transition. And the women kind of had to, every single time they go out there, they have something to prove. because of that. I think a lot of the women still have a chip on their shoulder
And they
because of
do it.
the
And they
four
do it well.
still wrestling. They're still very much current, and I guess you could say even kind of in their primes. It wasn't that long ago that they were fighting for peanuts. So they every single time they kill it because they kind of have to. They don't really have the luck. And if they don't kill it, the crowd is going to let them, because fans are harder on the women wrestlers. They just kind of are. So if they don't kill it, the fans are going to let them know. They're going to let them have it. They will chant, "You can't wrestle." They will chant, "Get out the ring." They'll let you know about it. And so they kill it because they kind of have to. But I mean, we like that as fans. We want the wrestlers to kill it.
Well, in this match, we had the Triangle of Madness, Marina Shafir, Megan Bain, and the CEO, the 11-time, 12-time champion right now.
And she was giving all of her teammates a belt to hit people with. You get a belt. You get a belt. She's Oprah.
Taking on Chris Statlander, Tony Storm, Willow Nightingale, Mina Shirakawa, Jamie Hayter, and Harley Cameron. Harley Cameron brought out the puppet, which did not go over too well for her. The puppet went flying through the cage.
It had a brass knuckles in it.
Let's there's a couple clips. There's a couple. I don't have any. So the video clips, for some reason, I have some video clips, but I have more pictures because the video clips, for some reason, on StreamYard do not want to load as well. But let's see. I have this. Wait, hold on. These are videos, so I need to go to pictures. So I got this one of the women. I forget who this is.
That looks like is that Decla? Was she wearing?
Yeah, that is Decla. Decla killed it tonight. She was a badass. She was beating the shit out of everybody.
She impresses me every time I see her.
And
also, I mean, we're used to the men kind of having matches like this. So when the women do it, it's like fresh. It's a bit of a treat. Like Moxley, you bleed every week, and that's no shade. I like you, Moxley, but it's just not new. It's a little bit new to see Willow getting down and dirty, you know.
I forget. I think it was Statlander and Marina Shafir when Shafir revealed that there was a bed of nails.
Oh yeah, and she put stamp on it.
But there was one thing I got confused about. At the end of her like pushing her into the bed of nails, Shafir took her socks off, like she was trying to like give her a Mr. Sacco or something. I was very confused on. Yeah.
What was that? Was she kind of was she trying to mock the puppet thing?
No, like she took her socks off and then she threw it at Statlander, and then she flicked her off. But then fast forward 5 minutes later, she's in the ring and she steps into the glass, which I know damn well is not glass. I know it's probably like some kind of
it's
candy
like
glass or some stupid thing. And then it's like she dipped her foot into the glass and then smacked the other girl with it on top of her on her stomach, which, well, I mean, listen, we're not stupid. We know it's just
you're gonna stick glass in your foot just so you can stomp someone with it. That seems a little counterintuitive. But okay.
Did you see a lot of the you see a lot of the tables not break tonight? Like, I don't know who was in charge of tables, but they were very stupid. They use actual real tables that had usually they take the sides off the tables and just make it a flat table. If you looked at all the tables tonight, they had edges and they had a wrap around it. So somebody dropped the ball tonight.
They weren't worked. And that's also even when they put them in the corner. Even when they put them in the corner, they
weren't breaking.
I was like, oh, this is not. But then again, I guess that's kind of, I mean, if you put someone through a table in real life, that's what it's really going to look like. So I guess it was a little bit of realism, but it kind of broke the immersion because when you're watching wrestling, you're used to the tables breaking. And so it was like, I am the table every single time. I think it's what you said. I think they just didn't work them, but they didn't have time to work them. So they just kind of went with it.
I tell you, Sky Blue, I couldn't tell if Sky Blue, I mean, I could tell that she was bleeding really bad, but I couldn't tell anybody else was bleeding because Sky Blue, like, she really busted herself.
Her blood was everywhere. Her blood made it look like everybody was bleeding.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I'm like, who's
it
really
wasn't
bleeding?
Sky Blue, it was Sky Red, okay?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I think, and also shout out to Marina Shafir. It's been a long time coming for her, okay? And you know what? It's fair enough. She gets a bad rep because she was very stiff in the ring. She wasn't great in the ring. She was still learning, and she was learning on TV. She was learning the old-fashioned way, because back in the day, people used to learn on TV. It was growing pains. You were green until you weren't, right? And so she's really kind of learned on TV and had her growing pains in front of everyone. And she had to endure her licks for that, and that's fine. But she showed that she can really, really keep up. And Willow is someone that has been in these kinds of matches before. She had an extreme match with Chris Statlander. Maria was staked. And so yeah, I agree with you. I did like the women's one more. I don't know if it was because it was better. It just felt more fresh because we're not used to seeing the women in this setting.
Well, that's what it was.
This is the very first women's Blood and Guts. Yeah,
we see the Death Riders all the time. John Moxley's like a stain on a he's like a stain on a white T-shirt. He's there every week. Same thing. I mean, it's just it's not fresh like the women's. Like the women's had something to prove, and they're slapping each other with all the belts, and then they jump out. Then what really impressed me was, I forget what two it was, but they slid out on those beams.
That was Julia and which one? That was one of the heel. That was two of the heels, I think.
What's up, Jeff? What's going on, man?
Oh, sorry. Jeffrey, but they were so like small that they were able to kind of like squeeze through. That was cool.
I tell you
like,
what,
and which one of the men could do that? No, none of them.
Not well, maybe like Ricochet or something.
Oh yeah.
I gotta tell you though, Mercedes was really stiff tonight when they opened up the cage. She was throwing the people down the stairs like they stole her one of her
numerous belts.
Oh yeah, like hard too. Like I forget who the first. Oh, Statlander, the very first one that went out. She hit every step and the guardrail. I was like, oh my god, that woman's gonna have a concussion.
When Vince says every step, yeah, Chris hit every step. No, that's so true. That was kind of, I mean, I think that was intentional, but it was looking pretty stiff. I said, well, actually, Mercedes, she took Blood and Guts seriously. She was knocking them girls out. Give Sky Blue the MVP. We were just talking about that. Vince
Tekla was good too.
She was bleeding every which way.
Yeah, Tekla was good too. Tekla.
By the way, is it Throwback Thursday?
Throwback Thursday.
Because you're wearing a Blockbuster shirt.
No. Now I just
Wednesday.
Yeah, I just decided to wear it. So we go from the women's Blood and Guts to we go right into Hangman Anna Page and Powerhouse Hobbs in this no disqualification match. Man, I really wish I could. Let me see if I even uploaded it. There was this really cool video that she sent me at see if I can pull it up here.
Cool.
There was another one that was really good too, but and then this is the video that I really wanted that she got.
The referees have returned to ringside for our main event.
I love how he announces that they're in the back, like smoking and taking a coffee break, and they're like, "Please, referees, return to the ringside."
And you see the refs running around the ring. They're like panicking because the thing is coming down. I'm like, just step out the way, boys.
You know what I gotta tell you? I gotta tell you, out of all the cage matches and actual cages I've seen, I gotta give it up to AEW. And so my buddy Bob, his name is Bob Rosen. He is the ring master for AEW. I used to work with him in a local scene around Florida, but he's the one that built the TNA 6-sided rings.
Oh, he's a legend.
Yeah, and he also built all the AEW rings, but he also builds the cages. And I got to tell you, that top of the cage, man, that is a stiff stiff top of a cage. That's no Hell in a Cell 1996. That's like metal and plywood, like to the core there.
When I was watching it, I was like, okay, so how soon until like they fall through?
No
Like,
way.
I was like, oh, because I guess back in the day they had that happen because it's like, well, if we send them up there, the cage is not stiff enough. They're gonna go through anyway, so we might as well make a spot out of it. But if you get slammed on the cage in AEW, you're just hitting the cage. You're not going down. It's just you're hitting that steel.
Yeah, that top is, I don't know if you really look at the top. If you actually took a screenshot of it, it looked like the top black part was a different part to the actual cage, because it looked like the cage, they had the cage as a top, but then they like laid down these other like pieces of steel on top of it to reinforce it. Really cool. But Hangman Page and Powerhouse Hobbs, these guys went at it. And we all know that the best spot of the night was I don't know what Hangman was doing. It looked like he was like trying to like hike the ball, and then like he you know what he looked like? He looked like a Julian Hurts Fly Eagles Fly. If you ever watch Julian Hurts from the Eagles, he snaps a ball and then he runs the other way like he's gonna make a touchdown for the other team. Like and then all of a sudden he goes, oh wait a minute, I'm going the wrong fucking way, and then he starts running the other way. So that's what Hangman was doing.
Well, he needed to get some momentum.
Yeah. It was really bad though, because he hit him and Powerhouse Hobb was still trying to sell like he was tipping off a 2-story building.
And because we brought up tables in the last segment, we got another like kind of table spot, but I think it went a little bit better this time. This match was very quick. I actually thought that this match should have went a little bit longer, but I think the reason it was quick is because they knew they had another hour plus long match to get through at the end of the show, and they needed to kind of go through it. I think it goes without saying, I mean, this was probably the least, like the third. There's only 3 matches, and this was the third best, but I think that's because this was mainly a filler card, probably to get the champion on the show and to get him in the ring, and also to forward the story of him versus the Ops. And we also got to find out that the match that he's going to have with Samoa Joe is going to be a steel cage match now. So it's going to be more cages. So we'll see that at Full Gear. Jeff says it was quick. Yeah. I was like, well, dang, this was a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Okay, kind of match.
Yeah, it was definitely a quick 1-2 punch on these guys. Now I'm not going to sit here and say that it wasn't a good match and all, but it started in the ring, and then I mean once it went to the back, what really surprised me was there was a spot on the table where it looked like the table was going to break on them, and it wasn't look like it was a reinforced, and then Powerhouse Hobbs slipped, and if you watched it, the one side bowed but came back in. And then he hit a really hard landing. Like he hit his tailbone, but he also his leg also like it like jerked and went back up, and then like he played it off. But I'm gonna tell you what, that looked like it hurt.
And that's the thing. I think it went because at least like at least this time the table kind of like broke, but it just looked like it was a bit of a rough landing. So I mean, I guess that's listen, AEW, gimmick your tables, because my gosh.
So when I was at NXT the last time, I was watching Booker T scroll on Uber Eats to find food while it was a commercial break, and Booker T got up for a second, and as he got up, I saw somebody that was like real, like he was dressed in black and real skinny. He like ducked underneath the table, and I saw him pull out these pins on each side of the table. So they're
the announce desk, right?
Yeah, there's like these metal pin bars that they pull out that make it it kind of is like a puzzle. Like it unfolds But what you have to remember is, which I don't think any of the guys did tonight, is that when you go through that table, you have to make sure that nothing's on the table, electronics and all. And it did not look like these guys did. They didn't really care because they were going through it all right then and there.
Well, in AEW, I mean, they fight with forks and cutters and whatnot. So they're like, what's a few electronics to cushion the landing? They don't even really care. And I think when they plan to break the announce table, I think that's probably what that is. It's like, okay, so in the next match, we'll do a spot where we break it. So let's take these pins out, which I think maybe keeps it from like collapsing on itself.
Yeah, this was a lead. I could have went without this match. I really could have. You could have just given me another 35, 45 minutes on each the women's and the men's Blood and Guts, and I would have been happy.
They did do, I forget, was this a Blood and Guts show? But I remember they did one show where not tonight's show, but the one I'm thinking of. They did a show where it was a one-match show. There was only one match. I think that might have been a Blood and Guts.
Oh, no, I know you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. It was not. It was the Anarchy in the Arena.
It was that one. Yeah. So that it was a one-match show. Understandably so, because that's naturally a longer match. But I remember that there was some confusion and people weren't happy about that because they felt like it was kind of false advertising. They thought they were going to get like a fleshed out show. They didn't realize that Anarchy in Arena show was the show. Like it was a one match show. So I guess they do this now where it's like, okay, yes, it's Blood and Guts, but we're going to give you more than just a match or two matches. And I think that's also why they gave the first women's Blood and Guts now too. It's like, okay, so we have to actually give you don't want to come to the show and see one match. We have to give you a little bit more than that. They expect like an actual Dynamite, right?
Yeah, it was it definitely was a tonight felt like I said in the beginning of the show, like it seemed very simple. Like it just for some reason when my brain watches AEW, it's like a bunch of kids jumping into the pool dirty. Like it's chaos, like you're watching a match, then we're in Abercat. Then here comes this other interview. Here comes John Moxley. Now we're into Death Riders. Here comes MJF. Like it's too much all at once. Like it does not flow right. Tonight, it was fine. Like then, so from the Hangman and Powerhouse Hobbs, you had Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Tony Schiavone, which this was comical to me because when you started listening to the Ricky Dragon Steamboat, he seemed very out of it. And if he had lines, he forgot every single one of them in the ring because he was stuttering. And then what killed me is when FTR came out, and I don't know what Stokely said to him, but I really do think that Stokely really pissed him off with that Macho Man thing. Like he looked, and it's funny because when they were trying to hold him back, even after they held him back, he tried to jump him again. So to me, I think Ricky the Dragon Steamboat grew up with these guys, with the Macho Man and Hulk Hogan and Jake the Snake. So I think it was a low blow jab at Steamboat, but he just kept talking over them. Like he I don't know if he knew his place in that promo.
So it's like well, one, like you said, he seemed out of it, and two, when when they kind of made jabs.
What's going on over there? I hear the police.
Are you hearing the New York police? Yeah.
Is somebody coming for you?
I was hoping. Yeah. Listen, they're trying to call me back to work.
Is that what it? Okay.
And so maybe, because to your point about him seeming out of it, maybe he forgot that like this is a promo, you're in the ring, this is a show, and he actually really reacted to like what was being said to him about his peers that he grew up with, and it's like, hey buddy, this is not what that is. This is like a show. I wasn't aware actually that FTR was part of Ricky Steamboat's last match. I'm assuming where that like that was I'm not sure how long ago
it was
that
independent.
was.
It wasn't I don't think it was televised or anything. It was like an independent show.
Oh, okay, I see. Gotcha. Because I was gonna say I must have missed that episode. But I guess that was a nice reference, especially because this is North Carolina and because of Steamboat's history in the building. So I was like, okay, so I like this connection, but they are heels. So if they're gonna come out, they have to kind of do what they're gonna do. And FTR recently, that's kind of what they've been doing. They've been coming out and just trying to get heat in any way they can, even if it's not against the people that they're feuding with, which we did see them eventually come out. Bro Dito did eventually come out to avenge Ricky Steamboat because he kind of did the, he thing. But he's older. He's like, I don't fight anymore. I'm a little bit older. And so, I mean, I think that this was just a way to get Ricky on the show and to get some heat on FTR.
I knew it was going to – I knew they were coming out to I mean, they weren't coming out to shake hands and ask to play chess. I knew there was something going up with that.
Yeah, history or not, right?
Yeah. And then we got Bandito and what's his name?
Brody King.
Brody King come out and they do what's the Suplex 21 or some shit.
Moxley tapping out was a downer with all the brutalities. Tap out to an ankle lock. Well, listen, everybody wants to be able to walk, okay? It's one thing if you scrape up my head with glass, but I need to be able to walk up and down the street, okay? You can't break my ankle. I didn't remember that at all. Yeah.
Well, from this promo, we have the Death Riders, John Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Will Yuta, and who else am I missing?
Pac.
Yeah, Pac.
Daniel Garcia.
And Daniel Garcia taking on Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin, Mark Briscoe.
And the Paragon. Roderick Strong.
And
Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah. And you know what? Here's the crazy part about this. Again, this match, there was way too much going on. I mean, you had people on top dancing. Then you had Renee Paquette doing some kind of sideline commentary in the back. You had Mark Briscoe get hurt. There's just too much going on.
I didn't understand why they did that.
It's like
I didn't understand why they did that.
Because Tony Schiavone can't have Tony Khan can't have a regular match where there's not 1,000 things going on. It's like he has to have like all this fucking NWO bullshit going on where it's like, all right, the women's match was great. It was all there. It wasn't outside or in the back. It was one damn match. And that's what kills me.
Shivani caught a stray. But yeah, I didn't understand. I actually agree with you on this match. I think it was very overbooked. But I think the reason that it was overbooked is because they have to keep endlessly trying to up the ante because these guys do matches like this all the time. So it's kind of hard to find ways to innovate every single time. I think that John Moxley enjoys that. I think he enjoys trying to find different ways to be just brutal and extreme. I think that that's his thing. I think he wanted to be able to do that in WWE and they didn't let him. So I think now that he has the freedom to do that, he's just running wild.
He's a Nick
I'm not
Gage
trying
tonight.
to say I don't enjoy the deathmatch stuff. I just think the women did it better tonight. I think the men kind of jumped the shark. There was no reason to do the Mark Briscoe hurt angle. I understand they want to do the Don Callis family thing and keep them involved in the storyline because I've mentioned this many times. I like that in AEW, all the storylines kind of mesh together because it creates kind of a living environment or a living universe because you're all in the same locker room. You're all wrestling in the same ring. It only makes sense that your storylines cross paths and kind of intertwine. So I kind of like that they do that. But I think they were they were kind of forcing it here. Oh, look at those. Oh, look at that live shot.
What was this object that he had? It looked like a big ass pizza cutter.
It was a fork.
No. He had some kind of long thing that.
Oh, with glass on it, right? Like
yeah.
I think it looked like a broken mirror, something like that. It was something.
And then you had the big. I call it the Swiss swing.
Swiss swing. That was when Claudio first joined the match. Yeah.
Let's see what else we got. All right, it's the intro. Yeah, the main event was not bad. It was just too much going on. I mean, at one point they focused more on Yuta and Mark Briscoe on top of the cage, which really you know what? You know who did it? You know who did it the best? Was WCW back in the day when they had World War III, 3 rings for their Royal Rumble. Not only did they have the 3 rings, but they had like 3 or 4 cameras, and they split the screen up into 4 screens so you can see all the action. They didn't do that with this. They
kind of like if you're playing split screen video game.
Yes, they stayed on the top, and there was probably so much more that was going on the bottom. They just didn't care.
I didn't think it was because a lot of times what they would do is they would just zoom out completely so you could see the whole ring and the top, so you could see everything. But that just kind of made it hard to focus. I do think it's better in like if there's something interesting going on anywhere, I think it's better to probably just zoom in there, and then you can switch up. Like you can switch up if you think something more interesting is going on elsewhere. But I don't really need to see everything all at once. I did need to see if you're gonna have Darby go through flaming tables. I do need to see that. You can ignore the ring for that. Says that it's safe to say Darby is tougher than Mick Foley ever was. I think they were both tough, but
I think Mick Foley's
did
way
Mick Foley
tougher.
go through a flaming table? I'm sure he did,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I'm sure he did many times.
Edge at what, WrestleMania 23, wasn't it?
But was it 2 though? Because this
No,
is
it was
2 flaming
1.
tables.
It was 1.
So Darby wins.
Yeah, but you know what? You know what Darby hasn't done that Mick Foley does is when Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie had their match at the Royal Rumble 98, I'm going to go one further, 99 with The Rock and Mankind. Mick Foley took the chairs to the head with his hands behind his back.
Oh yeah. Wait,
Yeah.
wasn't it The Rock hitting him?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Darby Allin, he might be thrown down some stairs, which probably don't feel good, but I mean, start taking a bunch of chair shots to your head and then tell me how you feel at the end of the night.
Mick Foley says to this day that's the worst pain he's ever been in.
Of course it is.
Oh my goodness. And the chair, I guess you could say, is gimmick, but there's no give. You don't have anything to kind of like I can't even imagine. Well, he was just scrambling his brains out here for fun.
Well, if you remember Mick Foley talking about it, and I forget what documentary it was, but he said back then they used they used the middle of the chair, but when they hit you, they swung for the head. Now, when they hit you, they swing for the middle of the back, which makes a sound, but it feels more like a pinch.
They do that, yeah, like this kind of area, and it does make a good sound, and it also has a good effect. I do notice that they do that. I guess it's good because especially with concussions and CTE and stuff, there's no real. It's better safe than sorry, to be honest. Those chair shots were unprotected. Yeah, those were brutal. Yeah, I gotta give it to me. Actually, you made a good point, Vince. I gotta give it to Mick Foley based off of that alone. And Mick Foley's been through some crazy stuff, and he says even that still to this day that was probably the worst, like the most painful he's ever done, most painful spot. Yeah.
Mick Foley. I mean, not just that. Besides that, Mick Foley. I mean, just think about all like the dumpsters that they put him in, and they locked him and throw him off the stage. I mean, he
going off the Hell in a Cell into the
exactly. I
think he said he got knocked out from that.
So, I mean, Darby Allin might be doing some crazy ass shit, but he ain't falling off no cages yet.
Don't give him any ideas. Darby is is he a wrestler or is he a stuntman? Darby is like
Darby's definitely a stuntman. He's definitely Mick Foley was never a stuntman. Mick Foley liked the pain, and I'm not gonna say Darby doesn't, but Mick Foley's not a stuntman. Mick Foley
might have been a masochist,
yeah. But I would say that Fleming through the tables was the highlight of the match.
I agree. I thought that was very well executed, and he stopped, dropped, and rolled. I know they probably gimmicked it. I know it's probably safe. They made that look as real as possible. That's why I think that was probably the highlight of the night. That was an amazing spot.
Yeah, it was definitely a setup. Katie has a really good video. I wish I was trying to upload it, but I wouldn't go up. But she has a really good video of who threw him through the tables. Anyways, who was that? Yuta? No, that wasn't Yuta.
Was that Claudio?
No.
Oh no! I think that was Pac. I think that was Pac.
Threw him right through the. There's a video of that. Yeah, she didn't have bad seats tonight. She kind of sat right on row A, right off the floor. So she had some good seats.
Yeah,
and I'm not going to sit here and say, that I wasn't a little disappointed that she went. And I'm going to tell you why, Sheriff. About a week or two ago, when we were talking about this, I said, or even leave me longer, I said, hey, do you think about going to Blood and Guts? And at first she was like, yeah, I want to go. Then all of a sudden she's like, no, I don't want to go. It's yucky. Too much going on. So I'm like, okay, cool. Today, she sends me a text and goes, hurry up and get up here, as a picture of 2 seats. And I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck is she talking about?
So she said you didn't want to go, and then at the last minute she was going.
She found cheap tickets. Listen, I'm glad she went. I'm glad she had a good time. I'm not mad. Not mad at all.
He's like, not mad. Look, not mad. Trust me, not mad. Not mad.
I mean, I was a little disappointed, but she's gonna do her.
Red Bull.
Yeah, she's gonna rum and Red Bull it all night.
I am jealous that she got to be there. I always wanted to see a Blood and Guts. I was supposed to see the very first Blood and Guts that got postponed because of COVID.
Well, do you have a topic tonight for our
for heated discussion? Actually, yeah, I do. So let me
real quick before we do that, let's take a commercial break and we'll come back to heated discussions. We'll be right back here on All Elite Heat Podcast. That is right, guys. We are going on a cruise, Margarita at Sea, April 17th to the 19th. April 17th to the 20th for the WrestleMania. It's our WrestleMania cruise, guys. And you guys can join us. Jeff, you can join us. Anybody here can join us. Just make sure you reach out to one of us and let us know, and we'll give you the details, and we'll give you the 411 on the actual cruise and when you have to get your bus fare in, your lunch money, and we'll make sure you have a spot on the WrestleMania Margarita at Sea cruise for our WrestleMania. We can rock
out the rum and Red Bull watching WrestleMania.
At this time, you guys can do that without worrying about getting censored.
Demonetized, yes. On the cruise, there's no demonetized.
All right, guys, let's get into it.
Before I go into it, let me do this.
She's a black ninja! You can't see her in the night.
I know we were supposed to change that song, by the way.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
It never happened, but our topic for heated discussion is gonna be, or maybe this is not heated. I guess we'll see. It's gonna be Ridge Holland. Are you aware of his situation?
I do know that they let him go and they did not re-sign him.
Yes, that is basically the long and short of it. He was injured working at TNA on behalf of WWE. I think he was facing Moose in a match, and it was some kind of really bad injury to where he's going to need 2 surgeries. He's not going to be able to wrestle for a very long time. WWE, basically, they're going to pay for his surgery and whatnot and his recovery, but they're not renewing his contract, which he was not happy about, because you're not going to renew my contract. That means I can't, I won't have income, and I won't be able to work for a while because I got hurt working for you. So he's like, I can't pay my mortgage. I can't help my. There's no way, dude, need money. You think people don't need like I don't really see that, but basically he's saying that he went to social media to complain about the fact that WWE wasn't going to renew him, at least through his recovery, and WWE obviously did not take kindly to that, and so they actually just ended up ending his contract early. They were like, okay, well then if you're going to be like that, they just cut him loose early, which they have, they have a right to do. And so obviously this kind of exacerbated the situation. There was a lot of sympathy. A member of his family opened a GoFundMe on his behalf, which he says he did not know about. When he did find out about it, it was already like thousands of dollars donated to it. People had signed up to donate money to it, like $1,000 every month. He said he's going to cash it out and donate it to charity. He's not going to take the money. But basically, there's just the debate is about the debate online is about whether or not WWE was kind of wrong for doing that, and whether or not they should keep him on payroll through his recovery until he's able to work. Right.
Well, let's break this down real quick. If you think for 1 second that I'm not going to believe this man doesn't have a savings from being in WWE, you're absolutely wrong. Okay, because listen, you can bitch all day long that you're not going to get paid. That's not true, because first off, there's a 90-day clause, so you get paid for 90 days from the company. They're also going to pay for your medical, and they're going to pay for anything that has to be done. On top of that, he could probably file for what do you call it? Workman's comp. So he'll probably get that and whatever he has saved. And here's my thing. And this is
workers' comp for getting hurt?
Oh, for sure.
Well, wouldn't workers' comp get you like what he's already getting, which is like they pay for your medical? They pay for
not just that. Workman's comp also pays you on the side for not being there. Like they give you
for not being able to work, right?
Yeah, of course. Like but here's another thing too. It happened to my brother. Like workman's comp can be very tricky because even though you're not working, like if they ever find out that you're doing something else and you're working, they could take it away from you. Like they can also get you. You can also go to jail for being a fraud. So that's why like you have to really like even if he went and didn't wrestle and went to TNA and became like a on-air talent figure, and then he was doing workman's comp, that can still get him for being a fraud because just because you're not wrestling, but you're still actively on the roster as a talent. But this comes down to what I keep saying all the time and every week. In these companies, there's too many people. There's too many people, and there's not enough talent and not enough time for these people to get on TV. I mean, you see it every week.
I mean, they had him down there working in TNA, so clearly, it's like
Well, listen, I'm going to tell you this right now. Nobody believes me, and I know Mad Dog doesn't believe it either. WWE bought TNA. I don't care what anyone said. 100%. There's no way.
That's a fact.
Right now that your TNA champion is in WWE and your WWE champion is in TNA. Okay, I'm going to tell you that right now. Vince would have never let that happen, and this is a TKO thing.
I'll do you one further. WWE is actively brokering TV deals on their behalf. You don't do that with a company that you do not have stake in. That's
for sure.
That's just
they think we're stupid.
Period.
Just they think we're dumb. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Like, what's a real partnership? I think they did have a short-lived partnership with New Japan. They weren't doing this kind of stuff.
Very short. Very short.
They were not doing the stuff they do with TNA. Is not what they were doing with New Japan. Like that's just not
absolutely not. You got to remember too. At one point or another, Vince and TNA were battling each other. And then I don't know if you remember, but they actually did a storyline in TNA where they had a fake Vince McMahon show up to the arena. And then they also did another one on WWE where they had a fake Hulk Hogan show up to WWE. So
This
they
was
were
the
ribbing each
dark
other.
days for both shows because
Yeah,
those sounds like terrible ideas.
Yeah. So and then here's the crazy part. After WWE did their run with Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff, they all jump ship and go to TNA, and they pretty much do. And this is when Scott Hall was really bad on the sauce. And if you can go back and watch and tell, there's plenty of promos where Scott Hall is just totally out of it, and he knows his lines, but he looks like he's so whacked. But it's just funny how these wrestlers like Holland, I mean, and let's be honest, what was he doing after the fact of him and Sheamus being a tag team? They really had nothing for him.
Yeah, I think if I remember right, they were going to let him go, and he asked to stay with a pay cut. So basically, he's saying, "I'll take a pay cut to stick around," which I think was probably the biggest mistake he could have made. If you are, well, first of all, why would you devalue yourself in that way? That's number one. Number two, why would you take a pay cut to stay where somebody doesn't have something for you when you could go elsewhere where promoters might book you, promoters might have something for you that you could actually gain some momentum, and then you can build your stock. If you really want to be in WWE, go elsewhere, build your stock back up, and then you can go back. WWE's not going anywhere. They're always going to be there. So I don't really see why he was so gung-ho on staying there. But to the point about him being injured and them like letting his contract expire and letting him go, I'll be just frank. I think that they should have kept him on payroll until he was able to wrestle again, because wrestling is his chosen profession. It's how he makes a living. It's how he takes care of his family. It's how he pays. If I get hurt in your ring and I'm going to be out for well over a year and my full-time job is basically going to be recovery because I have to get to surgeries, and you're making record profits and you're owned by a billionaire, you can keep me on payroll until I recover. And he didn't even necessarily get hurt in their ring. He was wrestling he says this, I was wrestling for another company on WWE's behalf, and I got hurt. Now we know that this is the guy I think that injured Big E, right?
Yes, Ridge Holland did. Was it? Yeah, what was it? Was on the outside of the ring, wasn't it? He like
did
hit
like
him
a
really
German
hard, and he
suplex, broke his neck.
Yeah.
Which was horrible. It was a mistake. He obviously didn't do it. It was horrible, right? A tragic situation, but not tragic. No one died. It was an unfortunate situation. But like they didn't let go of Big E. Now, obviously, Big E is a bigger name, right? They let him recover, and then they found something else for him to do in the company. I think that if he's going to be out, maybe find something for him to do, or maybe you throw him a bone and you just pay the guy out. He already took a pay cut for you. Just pay the guy out until he can work again, because he got hurt. He got hurt in your ring. I think if someone gets hurt in your ring, you should take care of them. I just think that that's what they should do. I understand that they don't really have a legal biggest mistake was firing Cross and Scarlett. Oh, hard disagree. I'm not saying they have a legal obligation to do that. I'm speaking just from a practical standpoint. You're WWE. You can pay. If people get injured, you can pay them to live. I just don't think that WWE has any business kind of doing that. If they want to say they care about the wrestlers and have any kind of conscience, I really don't see how they could do that. But that's just me.
Real quick, let me answer Mad Dog's question about this, because I do have a 2 cents into this. I got to tell you, Mad Dog, I think I agree with you on some point, but I also think that Karrion Kross and Scarlett's biggest time in WWE was NXT, when he was the NXT champion. I think after he moved up, they had nothing for him. Could he have been a great talent in WWE and had a good storyline? Absolutely. But the problem is, again, like I say about everybody, there's too many characters, there's too many people that things are going on that they have no room for a guy like Karrion Kross, and they should kept them down. The problem with NXT is these guys get so big down at NXT that they move them up to the main roster, and some of them don't actually mesh well with the main talent. They should keep some of these guys down there. Like, I guarantee if you didn't move up Damian Priest, he would have been fine there. Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa should totally be down in NXT. There's honestly no reason for them to be up there. Like, they're great, but guys like that could sell out every single week with Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, and Karrion Kross. If they had Kross and Scarlett, that place, you would never ever get a seat at NXT.
But you see, you know that's the problem, right?
What?
Because NXT is meant to be kind of like a play on words, meaning next. The goal of NXT is that you graduate from it. You're not supposed to stay there. And I think that there's I think they have a real issue with how are younger, ascendant talent supposed to, I guess, get TV time, get their reps in if they're fighting for screen time, if they're fighting for spots against established wrestlers who've been doing this for like over 10 years. And those people never really move on from the NXT realm. If you can't if NXT isn't properly preparing you for the main roster to where you can go there and excel, then that means NXT is kind of failing you in that scenario.
Yes, and I agree with you, but you also have to look at it like this. Some of these guys are only supposed to be a small mainstream purpose, because of the way they're built. And like what's his name? The Rosebud.
The guy who does commentary now?
No. He came out with all the people with the costumes and stuff.
Oh, that was yeah, and they would dance with him and stuff like that.
And then when he brought it up to WWE main roster, and it didn't go over. Just like No Way Jose. If you remember No Way Jose in NXT, that fucking place went bonkers for this guy. I mean, they're all doing the Congo line. Everybody's leaving their seat and they're doing a Congo line around the whole building. And then he goes to SmackDown, and nobody gives a crap about him because
certain gimmicks don't work on the main roster. Yeah,
no, nobody wants to do a Congo line at SmackDown. I paid $200 to sit on the front row. I don't want to leave my seat and do a Congo line with this guy.
You don't want to know No Way Jose?
No, I'm not losing my seat for this No Way Jose. No way.
There's a lot of. I think Andrade also kind of peaked in NXT.
Andrade was huge too, but again, the problem with Andrade is Andrade got too big for his britches, and then when he started dating Charlotte, he thought he was unstoppable. And we saw that.
He kind of was for a while until the divorce happened.
Yeah, but look at him now. You have to be a fucking moron to believe that you were going to go back to AEW and WWE was not going to catch you after your with your 90-day clause. Like, do you think WWE is this their first fucking rodeo?
I am gonna actually disagree with you there. Not that he didn't think that they would quote unquote catch him. The fact of the matter is, if you're not paying me, you can't tell me that I can't work somewhere. And that's just the bottom line. That's the law. And every lawyer, even David Otunga, who looked at that situation, they said, okay, WWE, so sue him because you will lose. You can't be like, I'm not paying you for the non-compete, but you're under a non-compete.
Who's he going to lose to?
They're going to lose the court case if they try to sue Andrade for working elsewhere, for violating.
How is he going to lose? Who's going to lose to?
WWE would lose that case.
Why?
If they tried to sue him. Because you can't tell someone they can't work if you're not paying them.
If you're on a contract, you can.
Not if you're not paying them.
It's a 90-day clause. They're paying them for 90 days.
Under 90-day competes, they pay you. You're paid your 90 days pay.
He was getting paid.
No, they said that he was not getting paid. And that's why he thought that his non-compete didn't. If you're telling me that I'm fired for cause, sorry to do this to you, Vinny, but look at Mercedes. Her run in NXT was fantastic. Then she went to the main roster, won a couple of belts, and then after that, they dropped her, and now she has 13 belts with AEW. Well, that's not what happened, Mad Dog Kelly. That's not what happened, Mad Dog.
Wait, no. They didn't drop her. I'm gonna tell you what happened to her. Her and Naomi got real fucking sassy. They won the belts at WrestleMania. You know this. They got real sassy. They won the belts, and then they bitch and complain that they're worth more than tag team champion material. Yes, that's what happened. So Mercedes left, and so did No. Don't give me that, because Naomi went to TNA and she did well over there, and she came back like the little girl that she was.
Listen, when I said Mad Dog that that's not what happened, you skipped over a lot. She was fantastic in NXT, and then she went to the main roster and ran a couple belts. She did more than win a couple belts on the main roster. I'm never going to say that WWE didn't push Mercedes when she was there, when she was Sasha. She main evented WrestleMania. They gave Sasha a lot. It took them a while to do it, but they did give Sasha her ones. However, as usual, Sasha knows her worth. She knows who she is. And she, at no point ever, is going to settle for less, because why should you? These companies don't care about you. You'll get injured in their ring, and then they'll let your contract expire.
She was horrible tonight.
Okay, so do you want to go down them steps and hit every single step?
She was horrible.
She will send you down the steps, okay?
That's all she did. And she slapped somebody with a belt. What else should you do? She should have went and got a fucking Red Bull and rum and Red Bull in the corner.
Team. They all needed weapons. She had enough belts for everybody. Everybody had a weapon. Tell me what other teammate is doing that. What other teammate has enough belts for you all to use a belt?
Tell me another person that has 13 belts, a ridiculously amount.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
So, well, actually, this heated discussion was kind of all over the place, but at least it was somewhat heated. What was the original topic? Oh, it was Rich Holland. I think they should have given him the money. Andrade, if you're not gonna have me work, you should have given me the money. In terms of Mercedes, she did a lot in WWE, but they weren't sassy. They were just tired of wasting their time on tag belts that WWE didn't care about. They couldn't even get storylines for those belts. So clearly you don't care. And if you don't care, then I don't care. I'm walking out. It is what it is.
Well, guys, that is all the time we have for you tonight. Thank you for joining us for the All Elite Heat Podcast, AEW. Make sure you join us every Wednesday. Next week, Cactus Caitie will be back. And guys, listen, there is hold on. Before I go into this rant, so I don't know if you know this, but are we not doing Monday night rated R reviews anymore?
I did see that in the chat. I think I think it's on hiatus. I don't know if we're never doing it again. I think it's just kind of like up in the air.
We're doing one show. I think it's Friday nights, and it's SmackDown and Raw
together.
And then over on the NXT side, you have Matt and Mad Dog Kelly, and you have the great Pumbaa, and you also have the Wrestling Doll holding it down for NXT on Tuesday nights. Guys, that is all the time we have for you. Thank you for joining me, Sheriff. Thank you for everybody for make sure you like, subscribe, and make sure you check me out. I missed it this week, but I'm gonna get back on track. This Saturday for Saturday morning reviews, we're gonna be doing space movies. We're gonna be doing
UPRE,
on UPRE, exactly. Tons of content over there. I know Chris and a couple other the guys over there, the consultant, have another entertainment show that's fantastic. So there's so much for everybody. Make sure you join us, guys. Thank you so much, and good night, everybody.
Thank you. Or not. That's cool too.
I don't think I have the outro.
I think if you click it, it'll let you do it. This is a makeshift outro. Listen, I'm this close to playing rum and Red Bull, okay?
It won't.